Many of the traits that Pioneer is working on are directed at improving crop yields, for example, or disease resistance, or better ways to grow a crop. The Plenish product has had a very long history within DuPont Pioneer. It actually started out, was invented at the experimental station in Wilmington here. And it really began back in the 90s when we had a group of molecular biologists who were really studying the biosynthetic pathways of oil biosynthesis and really understanding how different genes in those pathways could be manipulated to change fatty acid composition. It was pretty clear back then that trans fats would become, were known to be harmful from a health perspective. And we could see that legislation was going to come down the road in terms of the ban or mandatory labeling of trans fats. And so those two things really came together to make this a product that now is coming out into the market at a time when restaurants and food manufacturers are really looking for an alternative. Probably about 70% of the oil consumed in the US today is soybean oil, and therefore the public has really grown up on soybean oil from a taste perspective, and therefore chefs, for example, and food manufacturers really prefer it as the oil to use in their food products. The trouble is they used to have to rely on this product, which is partially hydrogenated soybean oil. You can see it's sort of thick and viscous, and the reason it's like this is because it's been chemically processed in order to make it more stable. Our oil doesn't require that kind of a process, so you can see it's nice liquid oil, and yet it's just as stable as this product. So this oil can be used by food manufacturers, but from a nutritional standpoint, it's got about 20% less saturated fat than conventional soybean oil, and it has no trans fat. When restaurants first had to remove partial hydro from their products, they went to oils that weren't as stable as the partially hydrogenated soybean oil that they had come to love. And because of that, they encountered this very problem. And this sort of gunk, if you will, just coats all the equipment. It's a major maintenance problem for restaurants. And it specifically develops because the oil just isn't stable for the application. You can see our oil is still a really nice golden color, and very little of that polymeric material, which is the oxidation product. So really much more stable oil, and you can see it just physically here.
A year and a half ago, we started to test Plenish, as you know, and we tested it in the deep fryers, and we found that it lasted twice as long. It did not have that heavy buildup around the rim. It had less of what we call the burnt nasties at the bottom. We found that it fried quicker and crisper. It imparted no flavor, it was neutral. And again, it lasted twice as long. So to a chef who's always looking to cut costs, that really is important to me. So today's recipe will be a summer style recipe. It'll be sauteed scallops, mixed greens with a raspberry vinaigrette, it's roasted garlic and spinach puree, and crispy potatoes. And that will show 4 different ways to use Plenish oil, all in one recipe. And this is how we currently use it in all of our kitchens. It's a really good all-purpose oil. It's not just for deep fryers. We use it for dressings, marinades, saute, hard sear. I mean, it's become our everyday oil, except when you need something that has a flavor to it, like an olive oil. We use this now for everything, and it's great. A little bit of grated radish for bite. This is the spinach roasted garlic puree. We're just going to push it that way. I'm going to take the scallops here, like so. A little bit of crispy chips. and voila.
The food service industry is enormously excited about this product, and that's because they used to rely on partially hydrogenated soybean oil. And when that got taken away, they were looking for a soybean oil that had the same stability, not a corn oil, not a canola oil, not a sunflower oil, soybean oil. And there really wasn't one that could take the place in the last couple of years until this product came out.